Hey everyone, this is Andrew, and in this video I'm going to show you a track that I made using exclusively samples from the Cymatics Omega pack, which came out pretty recently. So I usually don't make entire songs out of loops and samples from the same pack, definitely, but not even just combination of packs. So this was kind of a cool experiment to see the differences. So first I'm just going to show you a quick little preview of the track, and then we're going to dive in. So here we go. The track's called Red Light by Andrew Southworth. That's me. And if you enjoyed it, you can find some links in the description for like Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, YouTube. Just check it out in full. If you like it, please follow me on whatever platform you listen to music. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe for more. I do kind of music stuff twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays. So let's just dive in. So the intro starts off with this guitar loop, which is also from Omega. So I'll solo it so you can hear what I did to it. In the beginning, I reversed it, and then I just looped through it. So I'll just give that a play.
Living in a crowded dream, searching for the quiet.
Then we get into the vocals. So these vocals, I got them with the Omega pack. They're technically from one of the bonus packs that came with Omega. I don't know if it's still available or not. I don't actually think Omega itself is even available anymore. But it comes from the Spectrum Acapellas collection, so I don't know if they made that available separately, but I got it through Omega, so I count it as being part of Omega. So the vocals that came with it are great, and the processing I did was just kind of normal things you do to vocals. A couple months ago I got Nectar, which has been very convenient for processing vocals because it kind of is a plugin designed around processing vocals. I'm not doing anything with pitch. EQing, I'm just scooping the lows, I'm de-essing, compressing, doing a harmony where I have an octave down, some unisons. We got some saturation and reverb. And that's pretty basic. The guitars are standard. And this is just a backwards loop of, or backwards segment of the vocal to fade into that. So if I solo the vocals and show you that.
Living in a crowded dream.
So that's one method that I've been using to spice up samples. If you get things and you reverse them and then you process them differently and lead them into each other, it creates a very interesting effect. So that's one way to kind of use samples. So as we dive into the track, it gets a little more interesting, I'd say, starting right in the chorus of the song. So if you follow me on Instagram, I posted a portion of this track before it was done, right when Omega came out, right when I got the pack. So if you're interested, you can follow me on Instagram, and you get these kind of sneak peeks ahead of time before videos actually come out. So the interesting things that I did to the samples in the chorus is I really went in and did some chopping to things. So I'll just play a segment going into it, and then I'll play some of these more detailed chops and show you what I did. So that's the first part where things get chopped up and manipulated. So just into cutting this up a little bit, I did do some automation. So I open this up and go to Mixer, and I think I did it on the panning. So here I got a little fun with it, and you can hear what that does here to the panning. It creates a cool dynamic effect when you're going into this second part of the chorus. And I do that often in transitions because it creates kind of ear candy. So especially if you're listening on headphones, which a lot of people listen to music on headphones, it kind of almost can give you chills, or it can kind of just, I don't know, it almost feels like candy to your ears, literally air candy. So I do things like that in transitions often, and also spices up the actual sample. So in addition to like chopping it up, that's one way you can add life to samples. So, originally this raw sample was basically just this first half, and then just to make it a little more interesting, I did these chops to repeat parts and change the order of some things, add pauses. So I'll play through this part with just this part soloed so you can hear what I mean. So, as you can hear, very, very different from the actual raw sound. So as you can see, that really spices things up a bit, which is why you do it. So I'll play this last little bit because I also do a little chopping there. And I just did that because I wasn't a fan of the way the sample originally ended. So I'll turn off automation for now, and we'll take a look at the vocals. So solo the vocals, and I'll go to this more interesting choppy bit so you can hear what I did. The first half is actually what this originally was. So I'll show you the first into it. So this is what it originally was, and then you'll hear the chopped version, which I think makes it a lot more interesting. And when you're working with samples like this, especially for vocals, you don't want to have the exact same vocal arrangement that someone else does in their music, because that's kind of strange. So when I got these vocals in the track, there was actually just one big thing, and I chopped sections out and moved them around, copied and pasted, and then also did this chopping. So that kind of guarantees that even if someone's using the same loop in their song, it's not going to be the same sounding vocals throughout. It's going to be different orders, going to be things chopped differently, things are going to be mixed differently, of course, and the backing music is going to be different as well. So anyways, I'll shut up and I'll play it. So this part here is actually just the main vocal copied over and staggered in time in addition to being chopped. So what I did is I brought an octave up just in the clip automation, transposition modulation, and I modulated the sound over time, or the pitch over time. I don't know if this is a glitch in Ableton Live, but like the pitch does not change. I might be doing something wrong. But either way, I moved this and I was trying to fool around with it and didn't change. I ended up liking how it sounded. So whatever the issue is, it all worked out in my favor, I guess, because it ended up sounding cool to me. And these chops are just kind of standard. I wanted it to kind of, sing out and then just kind of da-da-da. So these are individual clips that are copied, and then the transposition amount, as you can see down here, changes just to kind of give it a more melodic quality instead of holding the note out. Then up here, this is the same kind of deal. I'm chopping things up here. I'm not repitching, I don't think. So there is one little flip here, which goes up 7 semitones. And then here I do a little thing here. Oh, wrong one soloed. You'll hear that now. And again, that's just kind of the same part, copied over, staggered, and repitched. Now, what I did in this second verse here, I think was interesting a little bit. Just to add some spice to this line. It was a little boring just by itself. I added a little bit of chops just to, just to make it interesting. I'll solo the whole. Actually, I'll just play through the part. Hopefully you can hear it.
Living in a crazy world, following the path that always listens to us. Give up on your sanity to hide behind the devil, 'cause you think you'll live forever.
So, just a little kind of thing. I probably could have just recorded that myself, but, I went through and I found some random segment that had a good sound, and I pasted it on, and then I just changed the pitch until I was happy with it. So that's traditionally my process of making vocal chops. I go through and I just play little snippets. And, just kind of fish around for vowels or consonants that you think are interesting and just kind of start pasting them in, changing notes, manipulating them, reversing them, whatever. So that's what I did here, and that's what I traditionally do as well. Now, another cool thing I did to make this song interesting, as you'll notice, it's kind of a weird mix between like a dubsteppy chorus and then this kind of lo-fi, down-tempo-ish, I guess, verse. And I did that, all of these drums come from the same pack. The pack is very diverse. It's a very, very large sample pack, but, the guitar in the verse really adds to that element. And the way the guitars are processed, this is kind of standard guitar, compressed. I think this is a side chain and then an echo, so it's just kind of a normal guitar. But the drums here, I'm doing something interesting where I have this EQ8, and if I click the drums here, you'll see all I'm doing is I'm boosting this section. And then the rest is kind of untouched for the most part. Now, if I go over here, you'll see, If I go over here, you'll see that the highs get filtered, so it's a low-pass filter down to 3.8K, and that's just done with automation. So there it is. So, I didn't want the drums to sound as bright in the verses because I wanted them to have that kind of lo-fi vibe, I guess. And this is also shown in this pre-chorusy build-up. Unsolo vocals.
No one ever told you that you have to fight for something, or you'll never learn to balance.
So that little fade does a lot to change the direction of the song without causing anything drastic. So it kind of lightly brings the highs in, and then at the moment that they peak with having all their highs back, this little, not bass thing, but like stabby thing comes in along with the pre-chorus vocals, and the drums get more dynamic, or they get more busy. There's more stuff going on, and then so that's the deal with that. Now that's pretty much it for the song. So as you can see, it's a pretty small arrangement as far as any music is concerned, but especially for electronic music. Often if you're dealing with MIDI tracks, you might layer synths on top of synths. You might have a bunch of different serum presets, especially for the dubsteppy style riffs, like in here. Actually, that's more future bassy / dubstep, but you get what I mean, that in this individual loop, there's a lot of different synths going on. Like, to me, it sounds like there's like 4 different synths going on and doing different sounds. It could also be automation, but I would bet there's at least a handful of different sounds going on. So, usually when you make a track like this, you end up with a lot of different things. You bounce stuff to audio, and it gets a lot more busy. So this is a very minimalistic arrangement. And that's all it is. So as you can see, working with loops is not very scary. In Ableton Live, it's very easy. In Logic, it is a little more complicated because you can't do something like, oh hey, I want that little section there, I'm going to copy and paste it there. You have to like switch to a tooltip, or not a tooltip, a different tool for your mouse, and highlight it and paste it. And you can't just like click on the grid. You're clicking like above the grid. There's ways to make it easy, but I find the workflow in Ableton Live a lot more friendly to this kind of sound manipulation, working with samples. Also, just in general, writing electronic music is much easier in Ableton Live. So let's see, I've showed you the vocals, I've showed you the synths, stabs, the drums, and the guitars. So there's this little spicy element that I have to make a bigger impact into the choruses. So I'll play that for you now. So that the little tiny like riser, or I don't even know what to call this. What do they call it? They call it white noise up combined with an impact. So this is literally no processing on the white noise up. On the impact, I'm just cutting out some of the lows because a lot of their impacts I found there's like a ton of low frequency information. So if I actually turn this down, you can see there's like a sub in there. And then if I do this now, it becomes kind of like an extra snare hit. So it adds emphasis to the start of the chorus without overloading the subs in the mix, especially since there's these synths that kick in. Oh, wrong one. And there's also the drums, of course. So that hit with a bunch of sub information, and it would hit the same time as the bass drum, and it just sounded cluttered. So that's why I scooped it out. I could have also sidechained it, but I just wanted a high kind of to ring out. So that's it for the song. Now, while I have you here, I'll take a look into the Cymatics Omega packs, or at least the main Omega pack, and just kind of show you what's included, because I think it's cool. If you've never bought a Cymatics pack, I'm very impressed. I don't know if this like this with every single one of the releases, but I was blown away. I got some of their freebies, like I think Astro Hip Hop was a freebie. I'm not really into hip hop at all. I just, free pack, might as well get it. They come with, little chunks of stuff, and you kind of expect that because it's free. But I never imagined that Omega would be this big. For example, if I click drum loops, you get all these folders. Now if I say, okay, I want acoustic loops, okay, now more folders, full loops, bam, 40. Now I go to hi-hat loops, 41. You go into fills, 33. Let's just click Foley. There's all these different categories for Foley. Sand shakers, only a couple. Scrapers is 11. I'll go into effects. Impacts. There's 50. You go into vocals. And there's chops, ad-libs, ARPs. I'll go into the ARPs actually. Then vocal effects. So crazy amount of things in these packs, and that's not including the bonuses. This is literally just the main Cymatics Omega pack. They also included, I don't remember exactly which ones of these are included, the Spectrum acapellas, which give you 6 acapellas, which is essentially, assuming you like all of the vocalists and the type of writing, vocals for 6+ songs. So that's great because but getting vocal samples, can be kind of a hard thing. If I'm a vocalist, so I can sing my own parts, but I don't always want to sing in all my songs. Sometimes I want a woman to sing in my song. Sometimes I want, rap part in a song. These are all singing, but, sometimes I want a different style of singer. Maybe a more poppy singer or more soulful singer. So that gives you the option. And then I believe there was a couple serum things. There was a silent thing. I don't even have silent. Dawn Lo-Fi was really cool. I used it for another song that's not released. So it's got these cool drum grooves. And then it's also got guitar loops. So, a ton of stuff. And there's a couple of the packs that include, I think, this Galaxy MIDI thing was, and something else. I don't remember. Oh yeah, the other thing they gave like $100 Cymatics gift card with Omega. So I think I picked up the Golden Guitars bundle. I picked up another serum pack because I couldn't find enough other things I wanted. I don't know if there's vocal loops for another thing. Jack U drums and something else. Diamond's hip hop pack. Again, I don't really like hip hop, but I was struggling to find enough sounds that Cymatics offers that I was interested in. And, hip hop drums, you don't necessarily have to write a hip hop song around hip hop drums. So, yeah. Overall, this isn't really a review video on Cymatics, but I'm blown away by the size of this pack. I think it cost like $250 or $300. So it was pricey, but you get a $100 gift card, so that brings the price down to $200. And then the volume, it's like 6 gigabytes of sounds, and then whatever you buy with that $100 gift card, brings you up like a couple more gigabytes. So you're getting a lot of sound for $300. So it's a lot of money, but this is like, if you were going to buy one sample pack to rule them all, so to speak, like this is probably the one to get. And I would imagine that in the future when Cymatics says, hey, we're doing this gigantic, cool sound library, I think you can feel pretty confident that they're going to keep up with this volume and also this quality of release, because, why wouldn't they? That, it would be horrible for them if they just like put out a crap thing that cost $300 after they put out something like this quality. So anyways, yeah, I rate the pack a solid 5 out of 5. If you like the song, again, it's called Red Light by Andrew Southworth. That's me. You find it on Spotify. You can find it on Apple Music, iTunes, Deezer, YouTube, etc. And links are in the description. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe for more. If you like the song, please go check it out on the streaming services or whatever. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Living in a crowded dream, searching for the quiet that you need to breathe. Gave up on your sanity to hide behind your shadow, while you tried to take the sun down. Hearts don't ever change to gold, out there thinking that you're in the world.